It's time to make the pom-pom now, and I just use one of these plastic pom-pom makers you can get from any yarn store or online. This is an 8 cm circumference one, which is a nice size for the hat we're making. So you open up 2 of these green bits, and if you've got 2 balls of wool the same, it's much quicker to use 2 at once. Just a little tip. So you grab the ends and you're going to just start winding them round there, making sure these are nice and even here. Okay. They have to be the same. And just start winding it round. Just like this. And keep going, try and keep it even, almost in rows if you like. And you keep going until this curve in the middle becomes straight. Nearly there, one more round I think. There we go. So, and you close it, and there should be a bit of resistance when you try and close it. And you're going to just trim that there and open up the other side and do exactly the same thing again. Get the ends of your yarn, wrap it round here, make sure these are even, and start winding. I do the first row quite tight to make sure everything's nice and neat and straight, but then the next rows aren't so bad, they're a bit looser. And don't worry about these tails, we'll cut them later. Nearly there. And you're trying to have round about the same amount of wool on this side as the other side. So if you make it nice and straight here again, it should be pretty much the same. Right, I reckon we're there, and it should be some resistance. Perfect. Okay, trim that off there. Now the next thing you need to do is cut some yarn to tie round your pom-pom once you've cut it through with the scissors. So you're looking for about 50 centimetres long, and I want you to cut 6 of these, no, I beg your pardon, 3 of these, because we need 6 ends. and they don't have to be exact, but more or less 50 centimetres, and then just kind of twist them together. Okay, then you need a sharp pair of scissors, or you can get special pom-pom clippers if you wanted to, but I've got a cracking pair of scissors that does the job in no time. So you're going to take your scissors and put them underneath your yarn, there is a gap there, and cut. Notice I'm holding my thumb here, that holds the whole thing together, you don't want it coming loose. Okay, that's one side, so turn it round and do the same thing the other side. Okay, so you've now got this kind of groove here, and you're going to take your 3 lengths of yarn and put them in the groove and push them down. Come to the other side, you're going to tie a knot with all 3 lengths and pull that knot really tight, as tight as you possibly can, and then do another knot really tight. Okay, and then you've got 6 tails, and it's useful at this point just to make them all the same length. That helps when you're sewing it in. So now we're going to pull this out. That's half of your pom-pom. Pull this out for your other half, and then there's 2 right sides. If you get a grip of both sides, pull it out, and this is your pom-pom. Okay, just give it a little fluff out like that, and then we're going to start trimming, because we're going to turn this straggly pom-pom into something beautiful. And you're literally just going to cut, and you're going to cut a little bit shorter than the actual pom-pom is. You want it to be a little bit shorter, and it's worth taking time over this to get it right and make it nice and even all over, so that it looks like as near to a circle as possible, or should I say a sphere or a globe. Now I'm going to just keep working away at this until I'm really happy with it, and you do the same with yours, and I'll see you back here when it's looking beautiful. So here's my pom-pom all made. It's gorgeous, I love pom-poms. I've got my 6 tails hanging ready to be sewn in. This is the inside of the hat, and you'll see the tail right from the beginning. You're going to pull that tight and sew it in before we actually sew the pom-pom on. Okay, and what I do is I pick up some of these first stitches and pull it tight to make sure that stays in, and then I'm going to go down here and catching yarn as I go, going through yarn, going to change the direction a couple of times, making sure I go through the yarn with the point of the needle. And changing direction stops it from pulling out later on, which you don't want. So back in here, and maybe another wee change of direction there. Okay, and just cut that off. Nice and neat there. We have a couple of tails to sew in, which I'm going to do at the end. And turn it the right way out. And I want you to have a look at your hat from this direction. Okay, and if you cast your mind back to the beginning, we made 12 spokes. You see? What we're going to do is sew in the 6 tails into every second spoke. And that'll make it nice and sturdy. So if you lay it flat like that, have your pom-pom ready, and just pick up one of the yarns, thread your needle, oops, and you're going to sew it in just on the outside of this circle. I choose that one and just pull it through. Do another one. You're going to miss one spoke and go in the next spoke. Miss one spoke and go in the next spoke. Pull it through. So I'm missing that one and going in that one. Miss one spoke, go in the next spoke. And the last one, number 6, miss one spoke in this one. So now all 6 tails are on the inside of your hat, so just pop your hand in and make sure they're all pulled as far as possible, and then hold on to them and just pull your hat inside out, and this is what you'll see. So you'll have 6 tails showing like this, and what to do is take 2 and tie knots in them really tight, as tight as you can pull them without breaking the yarn, and I generally do 3. Okay, so 1, 1 knot, 2 knots, 3, and then the last 2, pull it really tight, 2, 3 knots. Okay, I'm going to get a slightly bigger needle, and you're going to sew these in together. And you're going to hide these in amongst your yarn, so just somewhere very nearby pick up and you're going to go down through down here, and then just pick up a few bits of yarn down here. You don't pull it too tight, else that would show on the outside. You're just going to naturally sit inside there, and then go in a different way from when you come out. Make sure it's a different way back, and just go back up to the top here. Okay. Alright, so that's one. I'm going to do the same with these ones. Kind of pull it apart a wee bit, and it makes it sit nicely inside there. I have to re-thread my needle there, bear with me. And back in a different one than you came out of. And this change of direction prevents it from coming out and adds secureness to the pom-pom. So we're going to just trim that there. One left to do. Give it a little stretch and tie that off. Cut that off, and you're left with something that looks like this. It's normal to have a little bump in the bottom from where you've pulled your knots tight, but you can't see where you've sewn in those ends. It's lovely. And that's all the ends sewn in. And how beautiful does that look? I love it, love it, love it. So, have a little tidy up of the pom-pom because we've squished it quite a lot in there. So it might need a little bit more trimming until you're completely happy with it. I could spend hours on a pom-pom. I absolutely love them. But if there's the teeniest wee bit sticking out, it annoys me so. And that is your beautiful ribbed hat. I'm going to turn it that way. There's always a seam, so that's the back of the hat, and this is the front. There. Well done, everyone.